Hey everybody, welcome back to Flipmas Day 7. We've got a commission dresser to work on. So this piece is coming from a previous client. Her name is Laura. She lives in our area and I've done a couple of things for her before, and she reached out and wanting me to tackle this piece. And I'm just so grateful to have repeat clients. It's so important that when you do take on that commission work, or even if people are purchasing your items, that you give them a really nice experience, because they are your customers, and if you want them to come back, they are gonna take all of it into consideration. So we absolutely adore Laura. She watches all of our videos. Hi, Laura. I know you're watching this, but she has attended all of our workshops. She is just an amazing, amazing lady. So I'm so excited to be able to tackle another one of her pieces. Not only is she a wonderful client and I'm excited about this piece, but she also took the time to map out exactly what she was wanting, but still trusts me in doing that I'll do the best for her piece. So this is awesome. She mapped out everything. We were originally gonna do another piece that goes on top of this, but she decided otherwise. So we've got the tape marks all marked out. First thing we need to do is clean everything, and then we can move on to the design. I'm gonna clean with some white lightning today to get all this dirt off. We've honestly had this piece in our shop since about October, but again, Laura is such an awesome lady that she had no rush or timeline on this piece. And since we were opening the store and tackling a lot of other projects, she was willing to wait, but we just had it in our warehouse for whenever we were able to begin work on it. Okay, so as I was looking and attempting to take these drawers out, I can't figure it out. I looked online to see, thought I figured it out, but even when I'm unscrewing some of the screws that I thought would release the drawer, it didn't work. So what I'm gonna do instead is these drawers are actually screwed onto the box of the drawer, the drawer fronts. So I'm gonna take those off. That way I don't have to worry about this part in here being covered when I'm ready to paint and things like that. So I'm gonna grab my screwdriver and we're going to take this drawer front off. Okay, I got the two off. I'm just marking where nobody will ever see, but just for me on the back side so that I can place it back on correctly. So this is the top. I just labeled top with an arrow, and that this is like the back side of the drawer. So I don't really need to do anything with this side, but it's just a label for when I am reassembling everything. All right, we're gonna lay this on its back because there are a couple little areas that Laura wanted me to remove so that it's not a part of the design anymore. So this piece is really solid and heavy, so I'm gonna have Neiman help me. So the areas that she wants off are these little scalloped areas on the bottom. And I think what we're gonna do is, since it's all seems to be like one piece of wood, we're gonna have to cut it. Everything got cut. That was not as hard as maybe I thought it was gonna be. I was hoping originally to just like knock it off, but these were all connected like one piece of wood. So that's why we needed to go ahead and do the sawing. But I got it pretty much flush, but I will take my sander and smooth everything out. And that's actually our next step. Since there is no repairs to be made, we're gonna move on to sanding. So I'm gonna be sanding the top and a couple other areas to the raw wood. And I'm gonna use an 80 grit with my Surf Prep sander. Links down below. You can use my code FFT10 to get 10% off of the Surf Prep, or once you already purchase the Surf Prep, you can also use the code on more sanding pads. But then also Surf Prep has options for even if you don't have a Surf Prep sander. So they've got the foam abrasive pads for 5-inch orbital sanders, 6-inch orbital sanders. So go check out their website down below. I think that those types of foam abrasives are game changers in the furniture flipping world, even if you don't maybe have the full Surf Prep system. Now that we've got the top and the drawers sanded down, I'm gonna tape off these areas so that we can paint, and then I think I'm gonna do the paint wash last so that I don't risk getting any regular full strength paint on top of the paint wash. All right, I'm going to scuff sand the remainder here where I'm gonna be painting. I've just got a 120 grit. I decided I'm just gonna hand sand because everything's flat and I think it'll just go a little quicker. My favorite thing to say, it's prime time. I'm gonna use Dixie Belle's Boss in the color white to prime. The color we're going with is a lighter color, so that's why I'm choosing the white. And this is also a stain blocking primer, so just in case we are gonna have any tannins bleed through the paint, this will help eliminate those so we don't have to worry about that once the top coat goes on. So once that dries, we can paint. We're going with the color Drop Cloth on this piece. Now that the primer is dry, we can go ahead and put this on, and then this is also the same color we're gonna be using for the paint wash, but we need to apply that in a little bit of a different way. I've got my mister bottle. This is essential in my opinion if you're using chalk paint. It's really gonna help it just go on a lot smoother and a little bit less thick. So what I do is I just spray my surface, and all that's in here is water, and it gives a fine mist out of the nozzle here. I spray my surface with water, spray a little bit on my brush as well, and then I'm not looking for it to be dripping. It's just a little bit of a coating on the surface, and then we'll just paint it smooth right on. Okay, back for coat 2 here. We've got pretty good coverage, but definitely some areas that need at least one more coat. When you're going from like such a darker color to then a lighter color, it's gonna take a little bit more coats because it needs to have that full coverage, and it's a pretty vast difference in color. So 2 coats, maybe 3 coats should do it. All right, we're done with coat number 2. I'm gonna go ahead and take the tape off so we can go ahead and do the paint wash on the top and on the drawers. So for the paint wash on the drawer fronts and the top of the piece, I'm gonna be using the same color that I did on the full strength paint, the drop cloth, because all we need to really do is take a little bit to add into the water to help eliminate out those orange tones that the oak just is when you top coat it or when you add any sort of water. And since we can't just have the raw wood, we need to top coat it. It's gonna turn orange, so this will eliminate it. I've been loving using these safe skin gloves. They've got light duty, medium duty, heavy duty. We'll link them down below, but they're great for paint washes if you don't wanna get paint on your hands, and then also other jobs as well. So what I'm gonna do, since I've got just like a little bit of water in there, and then what I'm gonna do is just take a little bit of paint. Since we don't have too much of a surface, I'm just going to mix it with my brush and this stick, and then it's less than a 50-50 mix here because I don't want it to be very potent. I'm not really trying to change the color of the wood as much. Again, we're just eliminating those orange undertones. And then all I'm gonna do is brush it on after I use my mister bottle. It's just best to use a mister bottle when you're doing the paint wash because it'll help the wood accept the water a little bit better when it's already a little bit damp. And then I've got my lint-free cloth here that I'll wipe things back with. Let's let that dry and talk about today's video sponsor, Happy Viking. So as we take a break from that dresser and gear up for the delivery of this dresser, it's a perfect time for me to get in some Superfood Protein by Happy Viking. Created by tennis legend Venus Williams, Happy Viking is not just your ordinary protein, it is packed with superfoods and it tastes amazing. There has been over 7 million shakes consumed. That is definitely something special. And I can really attest to this because I am typically not one that is just okay with the powder and the water or the milk. I am always putting in bananas and frozen fruit and all of that, but I am totally okay with just taking this with water and mixing it up. It tastes amazing. So whether you're a furniture flipper like me or you're just living a busy life, try Happy Viking for that boost of extra energy and a great tasting protein shake. Plus, it's super easy to prepare, so no time is wasted. So check out Happy Viking and see why it is my go-to protein powder. The link is down below in the description. Let's get this piece delivered and back to the flip. Okay guys, after the paint wash dried on these 2 drawers, I am not liking the way that the wood took the paint wash. We've got like a ton of different like splotchiness. I don't know, it just didn't take it evenly. I will say the finish was giving me a little bit of trouble. I thought I had it all off, but it seems to me that some of the areas that didn't accept the paint wash as well, maybe I didn't quite get that finish off, because if there's still a finish, the paint wash isn't going to seep in. So I am going to, unfortunately, take my sander, sand everything back again, make sure I get that finish completely done so that it will take this paint wash much better. The top looks excellent, and so I know that it's possible. You just gotta start over. As much as I did not enjoy doing all of that again, I'm really glad I did, because I think that this is so much better. It's still drying, but I think sanding it back again, it was worth it in the end. So next up, we're gonna work on top coating this while these dry, and then we'll top coat these as well. For the top coat on this piece, I'm gonna use the clear coat in satin by Dixie Belle and a zebra top coat brush. This is a really great combo to get a really great finish on your pieces. Another option would be like the blue sponge that I've used in other videos on other pieces, but I really like to do that on like flat surfaces only. And since I'm gonna top coat the entire thing, not just the top, I decided to go with the zebra top coat brush. It's time to reassemble, so we're gonna go ahead and put the drawer fronts back on, attaching them with the same screws that I had unscrewed earlier on. Really glad that these drawer fronts detached, because it just made it a lot easier since we weren't able to unhook the drawers and pull them out completely. All right, everything's back on. It looks good. I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel about it, but because this wood matches the top wood and like pulls this color out from the shell of the dresser, I think that it looks really great, and I love the addition of the wood grain on top of the painted look. So I went to Hobby Lobby and I picked up some hardware. The hardware that was with the piece, it was a little bit mismatched. It was very similar, but a little bit different. And so I wanted to go see if I could find something that I thought would level up this piece just a little bit more. Laura had mentioned that she just wanted me to do what I thought was going to look best. I texted her about a few design choices and she's totally on board with all of it. So with that being said, I have chosen this really pretty, kind of chunkier hardware. It's got sort of a hammered look, which actually has a similar look as the old hardware, but it was just a different color and a different shape. But I think that the larger hardware is going to do well on a dresser like this because the drawers are so substantial. I was thinking about going with some smaller knobs, but I think these little bit chunkier round knobs are going to be absolutely perfect for this. I like it. Let's get it staged. We're finished, you guys. It looks really, really good. I think that the whole design plan came together. I'm glad I tweaked it just a tad bit where I'm still giving her what she wanted, but also making it look that much better. So the top, I mean, I just love the wood grain of oak as long as it doesn't have that yellowy orangey tone anymore. So that the fact that we were able to eliminate that with the paint wash, that is one of my go-to looks on furniture nowadays when I want to eliminate that golden oak finish. So I'm really glad that I was able to carry that out on this piece as well. I wanted to go over the numbers really quick on this flip. So obviously this was Laura's piece to begin with, so I didn't have a buy-in cost. I had the drop cloth and I actually finished off that container. I've had it for probably 2 or 3 years now, been able to use it on several different projects, but probably used about around $10 worth of paint on this piece. And then for the satin clear coat and the Boss, again, probably around $10 to $15 total there because I already had it on hand. I finished off a satin clear coat jar. And then for the hardware, that was honestly my most expensive buy-in here for this project. And that was right around $25 because each was $6 because I didn't hit Hobby Lobby on the 50% off for the knobs this time, but it's still really reasonable and it's really great quality hardware. And then I utilized some sandpaper. So we're all in around $50 for the material costs and probably in around 6 or 7 hours. And I did have to do a few more hours, or maybe about 1 more hour than I anticipated, just because I really wanted to get these drawers right and I had to resand them and paint wash them again. But I'm so glad I did because the final look turned out great. She ended up paying me $590, so that's a total profit of $540. Thank you guys so much for watching. I had so much fun on this flip and hopefully you guys enjoyed watching as well and seeing the golden oak, orangey oak turn into something more modern day and beautiful, while Laura is still gonna be able to utilize this really high quality piece in her home for years to come. I am gonna get working on number 8 for Flipmas, and you guys, this is going to be a really great one, so be sure and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss a Flipmas video, and I'll see you on the flip side.